Hey, that's your Spaceship Command Console.
Yep.
It's a nice Spaceship Command Console.
Hey y'all, this is Devin at Gratuitous Sets. Today we're working on this spaceship console for our escape room in Valparaiso, Chile. This will be one of our interactive puzzles that is going to actually link up to another one of our puzzles. It'll actually unlock our navigation console. So the way this thing sort of breaks down is we'll actually have a kind of a playing surface up here. We'll have different puzzle pieces that kind of go in. Here on the front, we're actually going to have an inset panel with some lighting effects that sort of tell you if you're solving this puzzle properly, as well as all sorts of spaceship bits and cool stuff that we're going to add to the surface. So what you're seeing now is really just the bare bones of this console, all built up out of MDF and plywood. We designed this thing up in Fusion 360 just a little while back, and now we finally get to see it in person. So we haven't put any skin on this yet, but we'll actually have a PVC skin up here on the top, which is actually where the puzzle pieces will go. You'll probably see more of that later. And the rest of it will be skinned. The rest of this will be skinned in MDF and painted up and all greeblified to look like a spaceship. So pretty excited about this one.
Okay, so the orientation, this thing's actually a wall mount unit, so this is the way it will be mounted with its two side plates. We'll put a French cleat in the back so we can hang it on the wall. These holes right here are actually where our FET sensors are gonna sit. They'll be just below the surface. And those FET sensors will read these cards. So behind this disc, there's a pocket with a magnet in there. But the precise location behind that disc of where the magnet is what makes these variable. And these are all carved in individual symbols. That will be the clue delivery device. Inside of here, there's a recessed pocket, a trough, with lighting effects back here, and I'll show you that in just a moment. That is mounted through socket head cap screws, which look very techy and cool, in the side. The trough will have a bezel that's fastened to it, and then the pocket will be bolted in from the inside, and we'll also have a few bolts on the outside holding the bezel down, but that's what'll keep it in place. Now, to do that, we're using these little buggers. I call them doodle bugs. It's a furniture insert. It's a wood thread on the outside, a very coarse, very heavy wood thread on the outside, and then the inside is threaded for a 1/4-20 cap head screw. So we can insert this in there, and we have this beautiful little flush device that'll receive that machine screw and give us that perfect repeatability and stuff like that we're looking for. Neat stuff. Well, that was a fail. All right, so here is our insert. We cut some of the parts of this out on the CNC machine because math is hard, and we screwed some of them up because that's how that stuff happens. But the back of this guy has a pocket in it, and the reason for that is that we are going to be using this stuff, which is called KRAV 810, K-R-A-V 810. It is a something I discovered last year, and it is 2 halves of an aluminum extrusion that fit together and they snap onto a piece of 3/8 acrylic, and there's a channel in there that holds LEDs. In the past, we've made these frames by hand and laid LEDs inside them. This thing, it's not cheap. It's $100-ish for 6 feet of it. But if you think about what it takes to make one of these frames, that is the best money you'll ever spend. And there's actually a little gasket in there, and it's adhesive, but the 2 ratchet together. There's little teeth in there that they snap together. So we made a pocket in here that will receive that thing so that the acrylic actually lays flush against the back of the trough. So there won't be a little gap or something like that. It's just a cleaner way to do it. So that's kind of neat. So I don't know if you knew this, but Devin's a friggin' genius. And we were trying to figure out how to take care of the registration. We have multiple layers of PVC that all get staggered off a bit. And then those have to get lined up with the FET pockets. And I didn't know how to do that. And he goes, I don't know if this will work. I haven't tried it on this machine yet, but I don't know if you know that a 1/2-inch collet will hold a Sharpie. So we're gonna use the CNC machine as a plotter and draw and put center drills with Sharpie touches where all the pockets have to go.
You can smoosh it down a little bit.
Oh! Not that much. All right, let's get out of there before it starts leaking. You totally have to put that in. That's too good. Oh, God. All right, I'll start prepping out the Sharpie.
The way NASA does it.
It's important to note the spindle is off.
But you want to on yourself? You can do both. Just in case something gets wiped off. But I've also got the center mark as well.
Okay, this is the bottom of the carcass, this is the front, this is the top. These greeblies have been added. This is a speaker hole for sound effects. These parts have all been fitted, everything's done, greeblied and ready to go. We're basically doing a disassembled paint job to get inside all the little crevices and places where, when you're trying to spray into a 90-degree angle, the air whips back out and paint doesn't really want to go in there, so it's easier just to paint it in parts whenever possible, and then come back later on and do a second coat assembled. So that's what we'll do. These are our side plates, and behind you, which you will see in just a second, is the back side of the light panel. I'm gonna have to get in there and hand prime some of that stuff because there's no way I can spray behind the greeblies that we put in there. Thank God for an airless sprayer. That was like what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes maybe, to do a coat on all those pieces. That's mind-blowing. We've got the outside parts to the case installed, these little profiled pieces. It's all painted. We've got our pocketed deck added to the top. Our pockets that are on the inside, the accept the FETs, are done. We still have to install all of the electronics. But where this thing stands right now is this is the visual aesthetic that the piece will have, minus the lighting.
I mean, do you want to do the CTA?
What's that?
Like, subscribe, push the bell.
But say it loudly like this: like, subscribe, push the bell. Okay.
Give him the old razzle-dazzle.
Like, subscribe, and push the bell. Yeah.
You look apologetic.
It's the way when I feel when I speak to anybody.
Really like, subscribe, and push the bell?
Yeah? Huh? Huh?